Hi folks, Teresa here from Stringfield Ridge Farm. Today we are going to talk about goldenrod. Now goldenrod grows all over Kentucky. That is that yellow stuff there. That is goldenrod. And this is just an empty lot right beside my house. My house is on over this way. This is just an empty field. Used to be a house up in there, long gone. So the empty lot next to our place has goldenrod all the way up and down, all that yellow. Back there is a cornfield back behind it there, and then right up in the middle of that is where an old house used to sit that it's just been long gone, torn down or burnt up or whatever. So there is goldenrod. We'll get a close-up. I'm not going to get up in these weeds, but we'll get a close-up of some that's on our property here in a minute. I just wanted to show how thick it grows around here. And like I said, all the way down this road to my property starts there at that light pole. And then all the way up through here, all the way to the cornfield. It is beautiful in the fall. That's when it blooms. It just now started blooming here. This is September 7th, and it has just now started blooming here. And it will get even brighter than that. Some of that's not even bloomed out yet. So in another week or so, that will be very yellow. Here is a close-up of one that is not quite bloomed out good yet. So that's what it looks like just before it blooms out. There's the leaves. The leaves go up both sides of the stem there, all the way around it. This other is some vine growing up in there. Let me get that out of the way. There you go. There's what it looks like coming up the stem, all the way up the stem. Leaves all around the stem. And that will bloom out in a few days to be a bright, bright yellow. Beautiful plant. Most people consider it a weed, and most people think that goldenrod gives them allergies, where instead it is the ragweed, which usually grows in the same places as the goldenrod at the same time. So when the goldenrod is out, the ragweed is out, and the ragweed gives you the sinus and allergy problems. So instead of this being a problem, it is actually a cure. This will treat those sinus and allergy problems as a tea. You can use it fresh as a tea, or you can dry it and use it as a tea. You can also make tinctures. And we have hung a bunch of it upside down and dried it, and then made a tincture out of it or used it in a hot tea. So the perfect way to get these goldenrod would be just before it blooms completely out. That's when I usually get them. Like that right there is about to bloom, but it's not so bloomed out that it's fuzzy. Now that one there's kind of getting a little bloomed out, which is still okay, but I like to get them to where they're not too bloomed out so that you so that the fuzz doesn't just fall off and be fuzzy, fuzzy here like this. Here's one. See how fuzzy? And when you go to moving those and doing much with them, a lot of that fuzzy flower falls off, doesn't dry well. It just falls off. So I don't like to get them that far along, but if I need it to, I would. Yeah, this is good for, you could make fresh tea out of it right now. I like to mix any teas I make like this. Like a lot of my herbal teas, I will mix a couple of different things together and then maybe even mix in a tea bag to give it a little more flavor. Especially if I have a, not just a plain tea, but a flavored tea. You can mix in with this or with any other herbs to give it a little more flavor and, more enjoyable to drink. And we'll take a piece of this to the house and have a tea here in a little bit. All right, I'm going to take this one. Well, I got to get my scissors. So we'll take a couple of these. I'm going to go down a little bit so I can get a little bit of leaf. Whoops. There we go. So I got a little bit of leaf on that too. And leaf and not quite bloomed flowers. We'll make a little tea out of that, and I'll show you how I do that. There's my today's harvest. There's today's harvest. That is red bell peppers and tomatoes. And so, okay. So yeah, this stuff grows all over the place wild here. You'll see this everywhere in Kentucky, all along the sides of the roads and the fields, and just thick. Even down the interstate on the sides of the roads, you'll see this everywhere. So I'm out of breath and it's hot, and I'm fixing to go to the house and start this tea. I've showed in other videos how to make tinctures, so just kind of watch for those. Watch that playlist. We have a playlist of foraging. It's called Wild Things, Foraging Wild Things. And, that's just absolutely our favorite thing to do. This is kind of, we just, all year long, we are looking for something out in the wild that we can utilize. And that's what we do, and that's what we show on our Foraging Wild Things playlist. So check that out. We haven't even shown everything because a couple of things that I had planned on videoing have already died back. Okay, my phone got overheated out there videoing again. And it's not as hot as it has been, but I guess I stood there long enough it overheated anyway. I just washed it off a little bit, and I'll show you what all I got. I got a few other things to go with my goldenrod to have a tea. You can mix it up and have anything you want in your tea. I'll show you what I've done just because what was as I was walking by. All right, so I like to use my little teapot here. Now, you don't have to. You can make 1 cup. But since I picked so much stuff, I thought I'd go ahead and show a whole pot. Now, this is the goldenrod I picked with the buds that were not bloomed out too much. And I left some leaf on there. I can just cut that up in here. I probably will. You could just stick it in whole even. But I'm going to cut it up a little bit. I got 2 of those. All right. So the main thing that everybody knows about goldenrod is that it is good for sinus and allergies. It is not the goldenrod that makes you have sinus and allergy in the fall. It's the ragweed that grows at the same time. Goldenrod is actually a cure. It's also anti-inflammatory. It is really good for arthritis, gout, all that kind of stuff. It is also a diuretic. It's good to help the urine flow, and that is what I am about to drink this for. I am having an issue getting up a lot during the night to go use the bathroom. I think I need to be flushed out a little bit. I don't know that it's a kidney infection or anything like that yet, but I don't drink enough water, and I know I don't. I drink coffee. I drink too much coffee. I don't drink sodas, but I do drink too much coffee. So that's why I'm going to get this and have me a tea for the diuretic and for the anti-inflammatory because I do have arthritis. So this will be good for all of that. I will also get some and dry it so that I can have tea throughout the winter with this. I'll get some more here before it gets too far gone. On the way by from getting that, I went by some of the ironweed, and I thought, what the heck, I'll throw some ironweed in there for a little extra vitamins and minerals, and this is good for blood. Any blood issues, this is good for. So any female issues and blood issues, so I throw a little bit of that in there just because it was there. I didn't go seek it out. That's another leaf from it. Then I came by my Marshmallow. It looks very much like a rose of Sharon bloom, but it's not. It's Marshmallow. It is a type of hibiscus, and it looks very much like a rose of Sharon or hibiscus bloom, but this is Marshmallow. So it's good for a lot of different things. I've went over that in another video about the rose of Sharon, so check that out. And all of those things that apply to the rose of Sharon also apply to the Marshmallow. Very good for you. And they grow wild here too. All of this stuff grows wild here. So we're very blessed in that. Now, then I walked by my mint. This is just a peppermint I planted in a planter out there. And so I got a little bunch of that. So that's what all, my hand is in the way again. So that's what all I'm putting in this tea is the goldenrod, ironweed, marshmallow, and mint, peppermint. Now, for some added flavor, a lot of times I will throw a tea bag in there and I will use honey to sweeten it. So I could throw some of this in there. I have a turmeric ginger tea from Mountain Rose Herbs. I could throw, that's loose leaf. I could throw a little bit of that in there. I have a hibiscus tea bag. That is this here. I got that at the health food store. I could throw one of those in there. I also have these. These are really good. I don't know that they have anything. Yeah, they do. Oh, I've had these a while and never noticed that. This is a blood orange herbal tea, but if at the very bottom there, it does have hibiscus and rosehip. So that's a good one too. That's got a lot of vitamin C in it then. So I might just throw one of those in there. We'll put these other up and throw all that in there. So here we go. We're going to throw this in this pot right here. And then I've got water boiling over there. I will pour some water on top of it and let it steep for, you can go 10 to 20 minutes. 15 is probably ideal. If you go too long, it's going to get cool, which if you don't mind it being cooler, I like my tea hot. So I will let it go just over 10 minutes and probably go ahead and drink it. 15 is ideal. But I like mine good and hot. So I've got all that down in there. And I'm not going to put this in there because the tea bag I used had orange. But you could put any kind of fruits. There's so many different teas that you can do. And I've done a video on that also. I will link that. I will put that link in the description below. There's so many different things you can use to make a tea. You can use your herbs. You can use certain tree bark or tree leaves. You can use fruits. It's just an unending thing that you can do with a tea to make it medicinal for what ails you. And also for building your immune and healthy vitamins and minerals. And you can do that in a tea, hot or cold. You could even let this cool and add ice and drink it cold if you wanted to. Anyway, my water is about to boil over here, so we're going to get this poured up. So, all right, here we go. I'm just going to pour this in here and fill this up, put the lid on it, and let it steep for probably, maybe 12 minutes. Maybe I'll go just over the 10, but not quite 15, because I'm in a hurry. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to let that steep, and I'll be back. Okay, my tea has steeped for about 12 minutes or so, and I'm going to take some of my local honey. Done about, about 2 miles from here. So that's about as local as you can get without doing it yourself. And that's good for you. Got about a teaspoon, maybe a little over. And here we go. Here's our still hot. Yep, that's plenty hot. You can tell by that pot's hot. Alrighty, I'm gonna enjoy this. Taste test time. Not sure what I'm tasting. It might be the orange, but it's orange and mint together. I think I'm tasting the orange and mint together. It's really good. So thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and watch us on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time for more foraging.